and then, yeah, a certain boss battle happens at middle. Or it's not really a proper boss battle. You could theoretically kill Ultima weapon there though if you had grinded up. Like if you would spend the time to grind up Knights of the Round, because it is possible, of course, as I've said, to get the gold soccer ball already before you get clothes and stuff that, just, you know, you need to be lucky and stuff that, yeah. Or it takes just a bunch of resets. So now we need to go back to middle. There's going to be a boss fight, which there is a certain item I want to get from it, because you can actually steal from it. So I believe I'm going to change the material around here a bit. I will probably equip steal on everyone then. Yeah, just ignore the enemy skill then and replace that with steal. Of course, and somebody's gonna have to have mug instead. We've added a cat then. Yeah, let's go with that steel. That's not master then. Here we go. So everyone's gonna have steel now. Because I really want to get it, and basically it's another curse ring that you can steal, and then you can from Ultima weapon on when you fight him next, you can steal curse rings, but there's another ring that you can steal, but it's only from ground encounters or from flying encounters. Basically from ground encounters you're going to be able to get more curse rings, but then from flying encounters, if you steal, of course stealing from flying is not something you normally can do, so I believe you need to equip long range materia in order to be able to steal from Ultima weapon in flying encounters. Or it might also work there if you use steel along with something like Megal, then that might work too. Or if you have a long range weapon, I believe it works as well. So you only need like a long range character with steel. Meaning of course the best thing is to go with both Barrett and Vincent then. So that's gonna be good. We did save right here, we did keep good. So now we should be... Now we're gonna trigger this here. What number am I? It's no use, I don't understand. I think help limit. What should I do? What if you never recover for the rest of your life? Yeah! Coming, they're coming. I'm not gonna voice it the rest because yeah. Oh, I probably should have put it on wait though. Because yeah, Ultima weapon is here. And of course you could theoretically defeat it now, except I forgot if it has an HP value or not. You might be able to if you have Knights of the Round, but then you would need to basically grind up Knights of the Round without having access to anything that gives you a shit ton of AP. You know, so it would be a really long grind if you would do that, you know, so yeah. Because the thing is, this Ultima weapon escapes after it has done a certain amount of attacks. It literally will escape, and it will do 3 attacks, I believe, then it escapes. Because it has nothing to do with the damage inflicted on it. Yeah, we do still cursing, that's great. And basically we only need to survive really. Oh shit, Ultima beam! See if he likes Dragon Dive. I think that might have been 4 attacks though before he escaped. But yeah, we managed to get it pretty easily. Like, I mean, it's pretty easy to get if you have several characters stealing, you know. So let's get. You can only steal 1 cursing from each battle though, so keep that in mind. Now they thought it calmed down the live stream, but it isn't. And this is because of Midel's location, it's very very close to where the actual live stream is supposed to be, you know. And then of course you end up going into the live stream with Tifa and Cloud and stuff like that, and then you find out about the truth about Cloud, you know. We found out that he never went into soldier at all. Cloud's eyes though. I mean, it makes sense, you know, because Cloud doesn't know anything, you know, and so that, and you actually enter like Cloud's subconsciousness or like his mind basically, and stuff like that. And of course, once we get Cloud, we're going to be able to do the chocobo thing pretty quickly, actually. Now it is possible, of course, to get most chocobos up to at least like A rank and stuff like that, you know. Okay, so the first one should be the north one, then the west one. And here is the interesting thing though, you can actually enter the menu, and once you're at a certain point of this, you can actually enter the menu. This is the best place to start, where his memory kind of starts here, that this is where he first messed up, and Tifa was afraid to tell Claude about the truth, you know. You know. He's trying to make him remember the different locations there in the thing, and there's a truck. Which, by the way, that truck is the one that Zack and I'm pretty certain that's the one that Zack and Claude actually rides on, a truck similar to that one. And that truck is of course very similar to the truck that they escaped on in the similar building, which is actually pretty interesting. And here you can actually pause now, you see you have LP limit now, so now you can for example equip him with Crystal Sword. This is also very nice looking. You can equip him with Imperial Guard if you want to. So Imperial Guard is quite interesting. It has no defense percentage whatsoever, but Imperial Guard actually has very good defense values and stuff. I'm gonna give Claude action, I'm gonna give him Champion Gambit. So yeah, 195 attack, which is pretty decent at that point. Oh, I would probably go with her with a double growth on her, no. So Platinum Fist on that. Of Cloud definitely I'm eventually gonna equip him with his super growth weapon and stuff like that. And you can also, now I believe you can also go into the exchange area and exchange the material, so you know. I'm actually gonna move those because I'm gonna actually have certain things equipped, you know. I mean, we will probably be using Tifa, so yeah. Let's give her 2 chocolars, 2 empty ones. And then use Master Bomb and Claude. Let's go with all and restore. Oops. I shouldn't spend too long time doing this here because, you know, like, we need to get out of this place before the recording session ends. Keep on talking more so can keep it. I'm just doing that step first because, you know, like, yeah, that's just the important things right now. I don't, yeah, just go with the enemy skill as well. Enemy skills there. Like, I mean, that Claude is almost remembering it correct, almost. But it does make sense, because when you play Crisis Core, what Zack tells him in the end before he dies is that Claude is his living legacy. And then because of him being recently exposed to like more makeup poisoning already then, like his head is all messed up and stuff like that. And that makes Claude think that he is actually Zack and stuff like that because of that. So he is literally like Zack's shadow, you could almost say, and stuff like that, so, which is really interesting. She waited about helping him, it never came, she saw Zack instead. And you can hear Cloud even remembering Zack here. And then it's the west one. This one, which is the promise. Because the thing is, this is what gave Final Fantasy VII its cover, I'm pretty certain. Like, a lot of people might think that the thing on the cover on the Final Fantasy thing, at least on the European edition, on the PAL edition, that it's supposed to be the combat or that it's supposed to be Meteor, but that's not what it is, it's the shooting star that you see. Like, after he made a promise, you can actually see the shooting star and stuff. Now, one thing which I'm really curious about the remake is how they're gonna cut it, because the thing is actually that disc 2 is not a very long disc, all things considered. But the thing is, are they gonna be able to have it so that you can access the whole world in like the remake? Because if you think about it, on disc 1 the whole world is already there. Like Medell does exist in disc 1, like if you actually go there on disc 1, if you manage to like hack your position or whatever, make it so that you just can walk on water or like have a gold chocobo or whatever on disc 1, then you can actually enter Medell, and Medell actually works on disc 1 and stuff like that, you know. And now it's the east side and then it's another part. He wanted to be stronger to get noticed. He wanted to get noticed by Tifa pretty much. And that is because of a mistake he did way back in the day. Hello? Right. I need to set out a very specific angle there, and it's hard to do with the 3x speed on there. And this is basically Tifa's mother died and Tifa wanted to try and visit her or something like that, or like to find her or something like that, even though she died. And she basically goes over the mountain, over Mount Nibel. And the thing is, she had a rule that she could only be, like she would always hang around with a group of kids, and then she had a limit to how many kids she could hang out with at once. So Claude is not allowed in, basically. But then she wants to go to the Nibelheim mountain and stuff like that. And Claude thought himself superior to the other kids, basically. Like that he was, you know. I believe this is also the only place where we actually hear this music. So here you can see, for example, now that they are afraid, one of them. The funny thing is the guy who stays back. He's the guy who stays back. Usually he's always the guy that tries to be like tough and stuff that of all the kids and stuff that, which is quite interesting. And then of course they go over the bridge, and you know what happened at the bridge last time. And of course, because all of them leave, they basically fell down. And that made their parents, or Tifa's dad rather, if that's supposed to be Tifa's dad, but it's supposed to be that they think that he brought Tifa there, that Tifa didn't go there on her own with that other group. So they all blamed Cloud for it, basically.